Right.
No. It's okay. We did talk about it, but all right. So everyone, we're back with Mokhul Empire. Just after the guys have managed to escape Balan in the library, but before we get on with the catch-up, we have a little bit of a short story to let everyone know what has been happening with Grildar, everyone's favourite moody dwarf.
Hey.
Okay, so I'll begin. Creak, clop, creak, clop. Grildar Ironblood watched the pair of pony move down the empty street, the sway of their gait causing he and the wagon to wobble. The pinkish blood colour of the sunrise washed the sky ahead. Musk from the animals wafted by on the salt sea breeze. He was thankful for the chill it brought, but the scent of old burned timber brought recollections of the Bretonian savage barrage.
Charge, we're getting an echo from you. Sort it out.
Sorry.
Even to this day, near on 4 months later, the bouquet of destruction they wrought upon Shydell still hung dead on the air. The sturdy steel wagon passed by the silent marketplace, their stalls yet to open. He guided the ponies around the grand obelisk and nodded to the hound brother Halim Al-Faraj. The cleric nodded back and gave a grim smile. A few moments more and he'd passed from sight behind a ramshackle sandstone living block. A woman above him waited briefly for him to pass before pouring the contents of her chamber pot out onto the street. Grildar shifted uncomfortably. The wound in his side itched, and he felt a warm surge trickle down to his hip. Pull there and stick with the rest. Please, the feminine voice came from the wagon behind. I can give you anything. The accent was husky and old, older than even the recent Empire days. It bled arrogance with a peppering of faltering confidence. Grildar thumped the wall behind him in response, grunted, and felt satisfied with his response. The wagon itself was a tightly constructed prison of reinforced steel with slatted shutters on the sides. They were shut to bar sight, lest the beast think of using any spell to escape. Ironblood, I can bring them back, it assured. No, you can't, Grildar drawled. Not unless you've got a very expensive diamond and a grand cleric. There was silence. Creak, clop, creak, clop. Didn't think so, Grildar said. For some time there was nothing but the sound of the waking city, the call of gulls, the sing-song of birds, and the glow of the glittering bay ahead. The wagon pulled up beside the newly finished statue of Chester. Grildar gave a slight chuckle. Overwhelming despondency was the only emotion that he had known looking at it. As time went by, he was becoming more and more used to it, and now it evoked mirth and good memories. He had not liked most of the time away with Chester and the crew, but the camaraderie reminded him of the Blood Knights he had called brothers and sisters. A deep sinking nostalgia flooded him. Are you ready? Grildar said, moving on. You know if you do this, it said, the Godbane will come for you with everything he has. Grildar did not respond. Creak, clop, creak, clop. It isn't too late, Ironblood. He gave you Gold Petal. He gave me nothing, Grildar grumbled. Zerxel and I took him out. A shift in the wagon's weight told him that the creature inside had shifted. Gold Petal failed to kill that lizard several times, she added. Godbane knew what was happening at your estate, sent him there to die. Gold Petal was many things, but he wasn't much of a smart man in the end, and even for all of his skills in manipulation. Grildar found himself smiling. That may be so. Changes nothing now. He will come for you, it sputtered. I am counting on it, Grildar said wearily. He's been a hard fucker to find, you know. He then climbed down from the wagon, grunting at the pain in his side. He'd see to it soon. He'd taken worse than a claw slash before. He moved around the wagon's door and pulled the cord. The shutters at the side of the wagon burst open with a satisfying clang. No, it sputtered inside. Not this way, Ironblood, please. Fuck you, Grildar replied. He watched the sunrise for a few moments more. It spread like golden fire across the sea, rippling into a score of vivid, vibrant colours. Inside the wagon, wails were beginning to rise, high-pitched and pathetic. Grildar grappled with the bolt and held steady for a few seconds more. He took a deep breath and shoved it to one side before moving to sit on the stone bench beside statue Chester. I'll give you the choice my parents never had. You can die honourably on your own terms, or I'll swing the door wide open. It babbled something inaudible, something alien. And just then, the door burst wide open. It came with full ferocity, a bestial lament culled from its lips. Grudar shot to his feet, shield ready, 4-star already summoned. He never got the chance to use it. The furbolg vampire known as White Lily only got several feet before she burst into flames. Her robes caught fire, and then her white battle-messed hair exploded into a glorious golden blaze. She tottered forward, floundered, fell to one knee. Her eyes popped in her skull and oozed black blood that became sizzling tears. The rest of her followed, a beautiful conflagration to Grildar's eyes. Her body stopped on one knee as if frozen. Then the sunrise blew her away. Grey-green dust swelled upwards, and her body collapsed in on itself. Grildar strode to the pile of ash, knelt and picked up the skull. He held it up to the sun. He squeezed and crunched it in his grip, and the ashes of White Lily sifted through his fingertips and salted the earth. Fini! Alright, so that's
very good.
That's just a little bit of a catch-up of what Grildar is currently doing. And we can move on to the normal catch-up for last session. Whoever wants to do that.
Todd, are we doing the usual?
You just have like some kind of thing at dinner. Well, I don't know why my brain completely wipes out everything, especially after listening to that story as well. But yeah, let's do it.
Got it.
We sat around a campfire. Where else are we in terms of like...
You were just teleported out and we ended the session there, I believe. You were teleporting to the glade.
I'd hope that at least this time you remember what we did last session, considering it is your final stretch of your story arc we've come to this place for.
Barely. Anyway. My friends, fellow subscribers, it is your boy Chester here, recording to you live from somewhere in the void on my way to my latest destination. I have an update for you. I have reached 1 million subscribers. And as such, I'm here to do a celebratory video in what should be the pinnacle of my career and life. It is strange writing to you on what seems such a final tone, but you see I have uncovered something for which I have been searching for a very long time. My vague and unhelpful associates have in their own way helped. Arwen, so fresh-faced, so vacant, so vapid, but of course present and helpful. Makra, decaying, rancid, I can't even bear to look at him these days, has been there since the very beginning. Not quite as long as me, but still quite well. The Linearos, kind. Actually, I don't think he likes me very much, but it's taken me a while to work it out. And good old Elzeth, I shall dedicate an entire book to her, for an entire book is needed to write about her deeds towards me and her hindrances, of course. You can find it in Elseth, the thin red line. Anyway, I have, of course, uncovered something which I fear I must share with you. You see, my task is near at hand. The scroll is in mine hand, 3 parts, and now the beast himself, the lord of this world, Balal or some such, is after me. I shall slay him, of course, like I did the God King, and it will be of very little significance. But what shall truly happen when we return to our reality is that I shall take its very fabric by the ball sack, and I shall run my tongue through it and change it to my own desires. Find out everything in my next installment. Chester's good victory. I don't know. It's a while. I'm drunk. The void's getting to me. End of normal nonsense catch up.
I didn't think that licking reality's balls is the description to describe using what
it was between that or shoving my head through reality's puckered butthole, one of the two.
Okay, so for the quick actual summary, we bought...
That was a good summary!
I was about to say, did you actually summarise any of it? Because that was the doctors on the phone, so I missed most of what he said.
We boarded a train to the castle or whatever.
So we didn't board a train, we got smuggled on in crates.
We got smuggled on a train and immediately left our hiding spots and started a big train fight. We won the big train fight. We kicked someone off the train, where he presumably still is, with broken legs. Exactly, we told the train driver we'd much rather go to your secret library. So we went
We
to the
also
secret library.
recruited Chester Decker as well at this time as well. That's a pretty major thing you're missing out.
Oh yeah, we have fake Chester, who is actually a spy and not evil, and immediately joined our side. But he might have planned to double cross us because it is Chester Decker, so he could have just been bullshitting. We then went to the library where we met a really old orc who was kind of miserable and apparently helped the whole empire to come to fruition, but he's now unhappy with it because he's like decaying but not dying. Showed us around the library, really stand-up guy, led us to the scroll Chester is seeking. We picked up the scroll Chester is seeking. We didn't check the scroll pedestal for traps or anything. I assume that...
I do believe my catch-up was sufficient from here. I will bullet point what you have just added in the footnotes, of course.
Okay. So we took the scroll, the owner noticed, and we teleported away, because that's our solution to everything at this point.
Alright, yes. Well, Galabash, at the end, drew his sword, who he called a faithful friend, and on the wind you heard the sword whisper to him, and he exited the office that you currently were in to go fight Balan, who was calling his name out, and all that you could see were these glows of the elements through the door as he, in his anger, was torching the library outside. And at that moment, Orwin teleported you to the glade where you had first rested on your first night here in Ruin. And at that moment, you guys feel that sickening sensation, that cold feeling, and you hear the sounds of the forest about you, the hoots of owls, and the tinkling of the soft, almost fey-like pond in front of you. And as you blink, you see in front of you a dead campfire, the logs where the Vagor had sat here and briefed you all on the situation in this world. You are here. This silence around you, it's a bit of a change for the last hour where you have been fighting on a train and then the chaos outside of the office in the library. But you are here. Right now, you've been adventuring and awake for maybe 4 hours now.
Well, and I look at Chester.
What are you looking at me for?
We're done here, are we not?
Yes, I am quite finished here.
So we should find a way back.
Well, I'd quite like to fuck off post-haste, yes. So can't we, just hold the rod and say a couple of words and circle jerk or something?
I'm pretty sure those are not the somatic components for the spell.
Oh, right, well, you see, could have fooled me. Anyway, shall we?
Also,
Chester.
don't forget your inspiration, guys.
For the circle jerking comment.
I think we
or
got
the
two
catch-up.
inspirations. We had 2 catch-ups.
No, you get 1.
Can we go to 4 inspiration?
Yep,
Yeah.
4's your max.
How about we meet in the middle and we get 1 inspiration and a level up?
Yeah, good idea. Time for level 15.
Master Decker, I believe Master Linearist does currently not have the required capabilities to cast the spell. Is that correct?
Correct.
We need to rest. As such, we should prepare for combat, depending on how quick this person travels and whether or not they can locate us.
Right you are.
I hope he doesn't find us, because that would be bad. Says Chester.
You underestimate us. 2 Chesters? Around 1 campfire? There isn't a maiden in all the land who wouldn't swoon over our battle with the Lord of Ruin.
I have not finished my calculations, but I have not come to a conclusion yet whether 2 Chesters increases or decreases our odds of success on any...
Yes, and I've not yet come to my conclusion as to whether you're a maiden of the land or not.
I'm going to go ahead and say, it's not a good idea to fight him. At all. Like, nothing. Probably not a good idea at all. We don't fight Balan. In fact, we should hide.
Ah, well, If myself is saying it, then mineself is correct. We shall write the novel Hide and Seek.
Yourself also has a pretty good proven track record of being a massive pussy.
For good reason. Balan is scary. Not just scary, we're talking like legendary scary.
Yeah, well, we've fought legendary scary before.
We've not fought
Golden
this.
Mask.
Please.
I just went to a fucking infirmary and he popped out the ground. Had to kill him.
You also passed away, Master Decker, in the infirmary.
No, I didn't.
You did. I brought you back from the dead in that infirmary.
Just looks over at Chester. I distinctly remember punching him to the ground with my bare hands.
Yes, I believe you.
Yes, it's all in my book. Anyway, look, we have to get home. If he turns up, we'll fuck him up. If not, we can just get out of here, can't we?
Don't you have...
Anyone?
Do any of you have some sort of other planar abilities to hide from him? Quick. I mean, Galabash would probably give him a good run for his money, but when he's done with him, he's going to find us. If we prevent him from scrying, then he won't find us. We need to hide.
Master Decker wants the mansion. Does it protect us from scrying?
Ah.
It depends on the type of scrying, I suppose. But generally, I suspect not.
I don't actually know the answer to that, and I can actually cast it.
I think it does count as another plane.
Yeah. Well, if it's a mansion you want, it's a mansion I can provide.
It's an extra dimensional dwelling, so...
Yes, exactly. So it
Guess
depends
so.
entirely on the type of
So-
scrying. Not all scrying needs you to be on the same plane.
I would suggest that for now, being in it is better than not being in it.
Well, gentlemen, allow me this time to pull my own weight and show you mine crib.
Oh god. Oh dear god. Alright, Chester, so... I guess, like, this is your time to shine, Todd, because you've cast Chester's MTV crib, and you get to explain how the place looks, like, completely, from start to finish, if anyone's rooms, etc., etc. Literally is your imagination, Chester. So, as
Okay,
you...
so I hope you enjoy leopard print, black light, and dark sheets. Because the moment you go in, there's at least a 7-foot tall nude statue of Chester raising a bowl of fruits above his head.
Okay, so that's a good start. What about the rest of the place? What does it
Marble
look like?
hallways.
Marble hallways.
The servants are just copies of Chester, but covered with thinly clad mankinis of some description. There are large portraits of majestic, like, animals, like lions or T-Rexes, and each of them have the face of Chester. There's a small image of Chester sat on a table, but on closer inspection, the chair is made out of all of his friends, crafted into an intricate sort of like woven seat that he sits on. And all of the toilets are just Chester's upward-facing head, and the whole is just his open mouth.
What the fuck, dude?
Welcome to mine casa, Chester El Paradiso.
Yeah.
Can I help you? Yes, good sir. Can I interest you in fruits? And these are all the servants coming in now. Would you like companionship this evening?
No, thank you. That's fine.
Oh, sorry. Thought you were a bird.
I'm neither bird nor exactly human, but...
Well, can I still interest you in some fruits? Hello, good day. Can I tell you a story about how I once saw a pencil in the hallway? Come in, yes.
Are these things just illusions then, yeah?
They're just the servants, yeah.
Alright,
What is
Macro
this?
finds one that doesn't look like he's doing much and just knocks the living shit out of it, like, just, like...
Well, as you're doing it, you just hear a chorus of, good show, I say! A couple of them have taken out notebooks and are writing about it. I beat down the set.
Yeah, just when he absolutely ruins Jared Leto, just like that.
Anyway, and this is the real Chester now. Matt Clark can obviously get his fantastic little kicks. Come on in. My casa is su casa. Anywhere we wish to go, help yourself.
Is this spell designed as a psychological torture, Master Decker?
A what? Anyway, while we're here, I do beg of us to discuss how we're going to get home as quickly as possible. Lilinos, Alwyn, I do believe you're men of magic, and perhaps you can help us.
Well, if I may say, Master Decker, the quickest way would for Master Makra to give Master Laniras the remaining Starlit Stone, so Master Laniras can recover his entire spellcasting capabilities and immediately transfers to our home plane.
Oh, well, let's do that
Otherwise, we
then.
can do that tomorrow.
Oh,
Yes.
true.
Which comes with the added risk of the man that is seeking us finding us.
The doorway to Chester El Casa Paradiso does disappear in the evening, so we should be safe here. I hope.
I suggest we rest for the night then.
Yes, rest. Good day.
You've only
Good
been
job.
awake.
Excellent.
You've only been awake for 4 hours.
Oh yeah, but this is a library, so I'll manage.
Yep. Alright, so you can all get a short rest here.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Do you not get a long rest?
No, not yet.
The filth.
Nice. Oh, there's the short rest button. Oh, it wasn't.
Alright, so as the time goes by, Orwin, there's something that happened to you several hours ago that you can't seem to get rid of. It was you forced your body to cast a spell out of your capability. You taxed your body with some sort of special ability gifted to you by your training. But unlike last time you did that, this time you felt something snap. Something like a lightning bolt nearby that joined in, as if something else had also cast a spell at the same time as you, and imparted something onto your spell. You saw your circle of death rise up in its normal, smoky, shadowy texture, imparted and imbued with some sort of blue, whitish energy. And you saw what it did to the drow in there. It seemed to be much more powerful for some reason. That's never happened to you before, and currently, racking your brain, you can't think why.
Yep. All in good time. That's why we need to go home.
So how long are you guys planning to spend here in the mansion? All 24 hours?
Well, I suppose an hour's good enough, isn't it? You get your arcane recovery and then jobs are
Nope,
good then.
because maximum is level 6 slots.
So we need to spend the whole time in there for him to recover, or take a Starlit Stone.
The last Starlit Stone, which I think Makra wants to use for a weapon.
Makra's very begrudging to give her the star up. It's like life or death before we're doing that.
Which it still isn't enough to make a legendary weapon, because I think you need like 100,000 worth of value, and the Starlit Stone is only like 20,000.
Oh. So they're not actually... But sure, the Starlit Stones, though, surely they've got something special about that.
No, it just said like they can be used as the ingredients for a magic weapon, and they count for 20,000.
Makra just seems really disheartened by this now. Just there holding it in his hand, like, just prodding at it disapprovingly.
I mean,
But
to be fair, you could probably still make like a very rare weapon with 20,000, just like not. You know.
Oh, okay, no, yeah. That was
I tell you what, good sir, I'll make it up to you. Keep the husk, and I'll see what I can do when we can get back.
Makra looks visibly...
I just imagine all the servants also going.
It's just like an ominous rumble.
going.
She's just going to use all of his hit die. It's 88, sorry. Oh, never mind.
Clearly, this Chester is lower level because he never had the honor of meeting Gwendeth.
He's not, I just accidentally put D6 instead of the 8.
Oh, that's literally the perfect amount.
Nice. Okay, so several hours go by, then 4, then 5. At one point, those of you who aren't resting do hear the slight kind of distant sounds of destruction echoing through the halls. Very slight.
That does not sound good.
Let's have a look.
I must admit, this is the first time I've cast this spell. Could be a little unstable.
Could be. But perhaps there's something here. Let's go and have a look.
Alright, so your investigations lead you back towards the portal that leads out. It is closed, it is invisible, but out there's definitely the sound, the vague, distant sound of what sounds like a thunderstorm.
Any chance we could hop, skip, and fuck off from here?
Yes, I don't see why not.
That was actually an answer I wasn't expecting. You know, Lewis, you are quite swell.
Quite
Okay.
alright.
So what's your plan, guys?
We'll try and rest through the thunderstorm, and then...
Okay.
Fuck off.
Fuck off.
Yeah, okay, so it takes another 8 hours, so you're in here for 12 hours, getting tired, before the
So we only
sounds...
need 4. Because we're only waiting on Laneros, who's an elf, right?
Yeah, but you just told me you're waiting for the sounds outside to the thunderstorm to disappear, right?
No,
Oh, that's
No.
what you just
we're
said.
just waiting for long rest.
Okay. Yeah.
No, he said sleeping through the...
I
thing.
mean, elves still need the full 8. They just only need to sleep 4 of the full 8. That was, I think, the last Crawford ruling, right?
Oh, Crawford can fuck himself, he doesn't know shit.
This is the Eratad's version.
Well, that's the rotted version.
Yep.
And they changed it again. Fucking Crawford.
Yeah, well,
Okay, that's exactly what this should be.
it does take you a while to, and Laneros, it does take roughly, you're in the house for 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, you guys only been awake for 4 hours at most before you entered this
fine.
place.
Does everyone get a long rest then?
I mean, if you're staying in there that long and not leaving prematurely, yes.
Cheap.
Yep, that's the plan. Just
Okay,
rest. and-
that's fine. Let me click long rest on Chester 2.
I've got it.
I meant on my NPC.
Oh, you're checking.
However, upon awaken, he does indeed cast another spell on himself, a very familiar spell that Macro saw him cast when he opened the crate. He says, glibness. It's how I get by in the world.
What folks are?
Well, when I opened your crate, I cast it on myself and was about to do the old persuady poo, but you all started firing at me, and I went down pretty quick.
Oh, I wasn't interested in fighting anymore.
I noticed. I thought, what is this drunk hairy bear doing in my crate?
Yeah, that was about right.
Anyway, the sounds have died down outside. There's no longer any sounds of like wind and destruction, thunder.
Should we begin going then?
Yep, from here,
Yes.
if preferable.
We should.
Oh, yes. I don't particularly fancy seeing what's outside after all that, Rookers.
Yes, exactly. And he looks over at Chester. I never thought I'd say this, but fuck me if you think we're going out that way.
Oh no. Look, if you can do it from in here, the better. I guarantee you Balan has wasted this forest outside. I guarantee there's
Absolutely.
nothing left of it.
So let's go. And then there's that echo again.
As the caster of Plane Shift, Laneros, you do get to choose where you land.
Yes, I would like to appear in a known teleportation circle, as that's one of the options.
Of course, which one?
I think one of the ones in New Chester, basically.
New Neria, but yeah.
Nah.
It has
shut
been
your mouth, Liam.
renamed since.
Shut your mouth, Liam, jeez.
Shut your hole, man.
We've
you-
worked hard to have this town named after one of us.
Okay, so there's the whooshing sensation, but this time, unlike the teleportation, it's like being dragged sideways with hooks ripped into the side of your flesh. You are yanked out of the world of ruin, through the dimension, through the void, the cold grip as you pass through the multicoloured tunnels and then land whoosh in the teleportation circle at the library in Mokhul.
Well.
Oh, good to be back.
I know, it feels like a long time, doesn't it? Gentlemen, you have delivered unto me and more everything I have wished for. And if you give me merely a few days, I shall deliver unto you everything that was promised.
Are you not casting the spell immediately, Master Decker?
Oh, yes, I am. I'm just factoring in any kind of human error. I am merely mortal at this stage.
I'm going to ask one question to Linares. Did you bring New Chester, as in Chester from the Water Room, with you? You had to... You oh my god!
Shit!
That's so fucking fantastic. That's more than I could have ever hoped for. Alright, so as you all appear, someone is missing. The old Chester.
4 Chesters.
That you promised. But no, he has not come.
I mean, I didn't promise.
Where is other Chester?
I'm not sure. He was in the circle. I guess something must have gone wrong.
Oh no! Oh, that's awful! Oh, I'd hate to be trapped in an extra planar device of my own unmaking, unable to move, think, and scared of going outwards and scared of moving on. It would be hideous.
You don't sound like you're being particularly sincere.
I know I am. I'd hate for it to be horrific. But it is what it is. I've got other things to do, I'm afraid. I might be able to help him, I might not. You know, it's one of those destroy a city, create an evil plague, look the other way kind of situations.
Familiar with those, are you?
No, figure of speech, of course. Idiom, as it were.
No, we have done that, Master Decker. Well, I have done that. You were there.
Ah, right. I lose track. You know, you've heard my catch-ups.
So you've been gone from New Neria for 4 days, by the way.
Well, Master Decker, I would like to witness you cast the spell, and I would formally request you do my business as one of the earlier things you do, since I have calculated your odds of catastrophic failure as increasing exponentially every second you are making use of the spell.
Yes, I do also agree with you. Haste is of the essence. Should we adieu to somewhere safe? I don't particularly want to cast it here. It might take some time.
I suggest far away from civilization.
No.
Probably a good idea.
I'm sure a house will do. Well,
may I suggest my workshop? I would like to take a seat right next to the portal that leads me away to safety.
Yes.
Longinia, in case something goes wrong.
There's a portal to Longinia, are you saying, in your workshop?
Yes, it has been set up as a reward for our services in killing the God King.
Ah, well perhaps I'll take a trip there then, and cast it in my homeland. Actually, that was kind of the whole point. I just didn't particularly want to take a trip. But may I use it?
Yes, in that case, I will sit on the other side of the portal and Longinia next to it in case something goes wrong there.
Feel free, but you'll miss the fireworks. Lead the way.
I think that's what they're hoping for. Yeah, come on, this would be interesting.
Right. So all of you exit the library, and as you walk out, you realise that there's hardly anyone around at all. Like, it's dead in here. And as you walk towards the doors and open them, it's night. You exit out into the city at the dead of night. And can everyone roll perception checks?
Uh-oh.
Potentially.
So close, Liam.
Oh, is it done as a night time so the vampires can do his duty? I don't like that.
Oh, so Elsef and Chester, and actually Alwyn as well, would have a perception enough. Very familiar with the night sky here in the Mokhul Empire. There's definitely something different. As you peer out and look up at the moon, it's full and bright. Kind of got like this tinge of kind of sallowness to it. Just to the left of the moon tonight, there's a star in the sky, brighter than any others. one that you've never seen before, and it has this golden kind of like halo slightly around it, a golden tinge to it.
Chester completely doesn't care when he sees it. He's like, oh. He doesn't even realise it's out of place.
Master Felt. Do you have any opinions on the alien body in the sky?
Not especially. Astrology wasn't really my strong point.
No, I'm afraid I also am unfamiliar.
You can roll history if you have it.
What do you mean exactly?
Elsef points it out in the
I do
mirror.
have history.
So
Do I see it once they're pointed out as well? Or
Oh
am I
yeah,
just
once they point it out, yeah, you see it. Alright, so Orwin. Golden
that
Star.
doesn't ring a bell. Does it do that more often? Sure.
Orwin. When it comes to golden stars are the sign of tap tappy tap. Are the signs of certain gods of healing and certain gods of righteousness and justice. However, Elzef, you also know that golden stars can be confused with yellow stars, which are the portents of doom.
Well, Master Decker, I think we can proceed as per usual. I believe this is a good sign.
Excellent. Always good as important. Lead the way, please. Quickly, post haste. I'm very, very interested in getting this done.
And Elsef leads everyone who wants to come into her door-filled workshop on this side of the portal, and then through the gate to Longinia into another portal-filled workshop on the other side.
Yep.
Yep.
Among all of these, is there any quick way to get to the Feywild?
Oh, none of them currently function.
I'll stick with us, Leniros. I can pop you through in a jiffy.
Is that right?
Yeah, just like threading the eye of a needle.
And Elsef
like-
puts down a chair right in front of the gate back to
Also, threading
Mokhul,
the needles might be quite hard.
and just prepares to watch the show.
Okay, I'm just whispering lots of. Yeah, at this moment, I've had more whispers than I've ever had in any game ever. So give me a moment to reply to all of them.
Fuck you all.
The body.
At least Elsef is honest about her intentions.
Yeah, I'll make some preparations as well, which I can just say out loud because I don't think I need to hide them from anyone.
Cool, thanks. I'm sorry, I was just saying that to Liam, sorry.
Yes.
Oh, my bad.
I'm going to start casting a teleportation circle.
Okay.
We're just preparing it basically. So I'm drawing the circle as in case I need it. I just want to get it ready in case shit hits the fan to go to a teleportation circle that I know that is very far from wherever the shit hits the fan.
Okay, so let me get straight. So we've got Elzef and Leniros going with Chester, but you're preparing a teleportation circle, and you are as well, Orwin. But Leniros, you're preparing a teleportation circle to get the fuck out of there if anything goes wrong.
Yes.
Safe. I'll deny that's a good idea. What about you, Macro? What are you doing?
Where is his kids right now?
They're in the Astral Conservatory. They're with all of the guards of the Seer. They're with oh fucking hell! I can't remember Rocket's old character's name. Sorry.
Lantix.
Lantix. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
They're with
it's not his
Lantix.
actual name, but
Oh, so is he not with? Are they not with Grildor anymore? Then?
No.
they haven't been for a long
No,
time.
no.
Can't remember what I was up to.
You actually got a message before going.
Just wait for that.
You got a message, remember, before going to the World of Ruin, where Mimu was like telling you all about how much fun she was having and learning up at the Astral Conservatory, and that
Oh yeah,
you said you were going to be there at some point soon.
Yeah, we do need to add that way. That's what the promise he made.
Sometime
Got checked.
soon.
Because you wanted to go back to your ancestral homeland.
Yeah, so we needed to complete Chasta's mission before he'd come along. So yeah, that's fair enough. For the time being, though, I guess now we're back on Longinius. He's waiting for fireworks, I guess.
You mean back in Nuneria, but yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Longinia is, of course, Chester's homeland.
I thought were we not going to Longinia now, then? In the workshop?
No, we are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're going to go
coming
through
along, then, yeah.
You're going through the portal into Longinia, right? And then you're casting the scroll there. Is that the idea?
That's apparently the plan.
Yeah.
Alright, so you guys head through the portal.
Blown up, Longinia's getting blown up instead of New Chester.
Yeah, you head through the portal, and as you appear there, on the other side of Longinia, it's several hours behind, so it's closing time there. It's like maybe 10 p.m. there, and you notice in your workshop some of the apprentices and journeysmiths are heading home for the night. As you appear.
Friends, good family. We've journeyed together for a long time now, in varying different degrees. I do believe it's time I showed you my ancestral home. Please follow me to Prometheus Hall. It is truly a sight to see, especially at twilight.
Oh,
So
are you heading?
You're not casting the spell in my workshop.
No. An old place. Somewhere close to my heart. Always intended it that way, you've just given me the means to get there.
And Elsaflight considers staring at the portal back to Mokhul.
Have I heard or know of this place?
So briefly, you came here with, and then as you think about it, something happens in your brain where you remember being here, but all you remember is Chester, but there's something wrong, there's something missing. Immediately, you look up and go, yeah, you've been here before, you came here on your own after Chester brought you here, you even walked off, you walked around the library and studied for a bit, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's when you come for like your day trip.
What, the library is the Prometheus place?
Well, it's a wing off of it. Like, it's a huge building with, like, a museum, the library, all the ancient arts. I do believe Chester might be talking about, there was a historian that studied the Nerefes. Am I correct, Todd?
Yes?
Grace was... I've got it written down here.
Who, sorry?
I'll whisper it to you.
Okay, so I know of the place that Chester's talking about then.
Oh, I'm actually talking about Chester's home.
Oh, you want to go home? Oh,
yeah,
yes.
his home, Prometheus Hall. I just named it after his backstory, just very, very quickly. But it's obviously the garden where Maisie is. That's where he's going.
Okay, so he leads you through most of the outskirts of the city down cobbled roads, and no, Alwyn, you would not have been here.
No, I don't know it.
No.
Okay.
Now that we've changed locations, Elsa's strategy has changed, Liam. Once Chester begins casting the spell, Elsa will just cast Resilient Sphere on herself.
Yeah, okay. Alright, so what's
Do
your
we get
plan?
there without event, or...?
No, well, I'm about to move over. Alwyn, did you want to do something?
No, I just wondered if I knew the place. I don't know if you recall. Remember, he did live in Longinia for quite a few years, running the shop here.
You have a feeling as you're...
I'd come across it.
But after about 5 minutes of walking, you immediately have the feeling that you know the quarter that you're heading towards. It's not a noble's quarter, it's not a commoner's quarter, but it's across one of the bridges to the west part of the mainland, where well-to-do kind of middle class were placed. Very kind of like an area with lots of gardens, fine built cobbled roads, an area quite nice in the city, even nicer than some of the nobles' quarters, because it's not enclosed so close to all of the docks and the wharfs. But as you cross the bridge, passing through the night market, immediately people calling out their wares, whores flashing their chest at you, trying to entice you into the flat kind of like buildings that are pressed up against the bridges here. And you pass down one of the wooden swaying bridges, down some stairs, and you guys have to take a quick taxi canoe across the river here across to the other side, get off at a nice wharf, where on the other
Chester
side...
takes a very deep sniff. That there is a smell I have not smelled in a long time.
Just to be clear, I'm not doing any of that. I'm just staying where I was and getting the spell ready.
Alright, so just staying at the workshop.
Yeah, if something big's gonna happen, it'll happen, and then we'll see about it. And if I see something going wrong, I'm gonna zoink out of there.
Zoinkies. Okay. And on the other side, you up some kind of sea slimy stairs onto the main road and head down towards what Chester would call his ancient home. It's a modest 2-story building of what looks like would have been maybe 4 or 5 bedrooms. The garden is overgrown. But as you approach the gate, Chester, there are 4 guards at the wrought iron kind of gate, just stood there, and you notice that the wrought iron bars that once surrounded your manor house are boarded, barring sight.
Do I recognise the guards? Do they have any heraldry or anything like that?
No, but they are wielding long rifles and rapiers. They don't have armour on. They look like they have the colours of blue and yellow checkered on their capes. Something you don't.
Would he know? He doesn't recognise it.
No.
He drops all pretense immediately. All right, gents.
They turn to look at you.
Just wondering if I could, pop into my home quickly. Chester Decker, owner of this here dwelling.
And the guy on the left throws his cigarette to the ground and stamps on it, blows smoke in your face. Get lost.
Alright, look, I'm in a really, really good mood. So, how about you explain to me why you're blocking my path from my home, and I will either make the decision to A, go through you anyway, or B, walk away. How about that?
Roll intimidation.
Oh, it's intimidation you want?
Master Decker, I believe this man has not heard of you.
The one on the left, the one with like a thin pencil mustache, strokes it, bum and finger. Wait a minute. He grabs it and goes, John, mate. Pulls him to one side and they begin whispering. And then he turns around and he looks at you and there's fear in his eyes. And then they turn back. And then the other two are kind of shifted uncomfortably while looking at Alwyn.
You
turn to Alwyn.
Alwyn.
Yeah, Alwyn's eyes are slightly kind of like luminescent blue, aren't they? So they're just kind of looking at him confused. And then they look back towards Macra, this hulking bugbear. And then they kind of, the two that had disappeared, walk back. Her Grace Goldtide had locked your manor. There's important Nerethese history behind these doors that we are meant to guard from the public. If you are who you say you are, then I can let you in. But
that would be most appreciated, thank you.
You
see,
should probably prepare yourself then, if you are really Chester Decker. The damage was nearly total.
To what?
Everything inside.
I'm
assuming you know, and I don't have to deliver the bad news that your parents perished in the flames.
That's why I'm here, gentlemen. Thank you for the history lesson. Regardless, I'm here for different reasons.
There has been information, Chester.
Oh, right.
We have a culprit, but it disappeared. It's no longer in the city, and we're having difficulty scrying upon it. You should probably approach the High Conservator, or perhaps Goldtide herself, about this. And then the one on the left that was eyeing up Alwyn, confused, leans in and goes, "We hear it was a construct."
Oh, right.
Had a female form.
Gentlemen, fear not, for I will have an eyewitness soon enough. I'll tell you what, give me a few moments, or as much time as I need for my sentiments to be passed on to my ancestral home, and you know what's inside. And then I'll come out and I'll go with you to wherever it may need to be. Or could you please do me the honour of kindly escorting me to this official, and I will do my best to help you track down this culprit, bring them to good, swift Longinian justice.
Okay, so they...
Because I would like to reassure this, if there truly is a culprit to this, and someone or one person or group was maliciously behind in intent to this deed, then nothing will keep them safe from me.
Yeah, sounds good. He places a key in the padlock, opens it. What remains of your sister is in the tent.
She's not my sister, but thanks.
Okay. And the doors open with a loud creak. And those of you that are there see that as you get closer into the kind of winding gravel courtyard, that the doors don't exist. Inside gives off an air of death and kind of like smoke. The air still smells stagnant with fire. It's blackened and charred up some of the walls. And there is in the garden, there's a sort of crater, a lip, leads down, and there's some stairs that have been built there fresh out of timber, and a large pavilion has been erected over the crater, and at the top it funnels to a point where it's open, and at the moment moonlight blazes down in it, and you see there's something glittering inside, kind of like orangish, yellowish.
Gentlemen, allow me to be the first to bring you to this hallowed place. It shows a lot to the testament of your character that I'd bring you here at all, actually. This is my home, and this is what we now affectionately call Maisie's garden. You see, the artifact we're going to find down here is of particular importance to me. Kind of the whole reason I've been doing this, really. Kind of my fiance in there, and he points at the glittering object. Did we see it? Is it in view?
He just asked.
No,
say it's an artifact.
Not exactly. There was something bad. I'm not going to go into the exact details of the event that took place here a little while ago. You see, it was just me, my parents, a fairly promising Longinian family. A little while before all of this happened, a good 10, 15 years really, they picked up or adopted someone straight off the streets of Longinia. Her name was Maisie. For all intents and purposes, I think they always intended for us to be wed, really. I didn't think they realised how well we would get on. But then something terrible, and you can tell he's really uncomfortable, and catastrophic happened here, really, and now she's trapped in something, celestial armour they call it. It's almost pure essence of mithril, which is one of the strongest substances, I think, or at least if my research serves me right, ever. And it's nigh on unbreakable. There are certain ways to do it, of course, but the best one I know of lies within the very skull I'm carrying, really. So I'm going to do this and a couple of other things and help a couple of other people out, and then I'll either follow you guys to the end, or I'll live my life, really. But I've got to do this first.
Right. Understandable.
So of all the spells to
Who'd
break
have thought it'd be
this
such a cute reason?
armor, you picked this one.
Well, yes. I've looked everywhere, actually. And this seemed like the most viable way of doing it, or at least the one that I know that I could keep her safe with. It can't be shattered, it can't be spelled, it can't be broken, it's something else, really. I don't even know if she's still alive in there, in truth. And I need some kind of celestial backing if I'm going to put a dent in it. Which is what all this is for, so I beg you, gentlemen, if I've ever begged you of anything, and for once, and only ever, I might even write something true. If I start casting this spell and anything goes down, I want you to defend this area with everything you got. If I could ask at least that of you.
Sure, I'll give it my best.
I will not promise anything before I don't see the results.
Well, if I've got time left on my list, there's a soul in it for you.
Well, yes, if I receive my soul, Master Decker, anything you say. But if the spell is over and you're gone, and my situation is unchanged, and there is no reward in it for me, obviously not, unless Master Owen promised the help in that case.
Do we see the effigy there, Liam, or...?
Are you going in? Like I said, there's a pavilion around it. Okay, so are you letting everyone else come in to see it?
Well, yeah, I walk in without saying anything.
Anyone following?
Elseth casts guidance on Chester if he needs any ability check to do this.
Okay, so you walk down the steps, and they creak, and you part the flap. And the moonlight lights her up, Chester. It cascades over the amber of the celestial armour. Unlike Mistra's celestial armour that you had seen in the tomb of Mistra, buried beneath in like a pool of amber, this one is rough. It's like, in her desperate attempt to defend herself, she'd fallen to one knee, one palm against the ground, the other forward, as if holding up her hand afraid. She is perpetually frozen behind the near-transparent amber in a facade of kind of fear. And as she holds it up, there's just spikes of amber all around, jutting up to 8 feet, forming a great rose-like construction around her. And Alwyn, something happens as you walk in, and you look at her face. I've messaged you something. And she's as beautiful as you remember, Chester. She has not aged a day since you remember her. Still, perhaps, maybe 16, 17.
I think she was 22 in his original description.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, so a little bit
sorry,
older.
sorry.
I just forgot, because I remember there was something...
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, and her bright blue eyes gaze out towards you in fear. The tears that were welling from her eyes in that moment are frozen on her cheek.
He reaches out, he touches the amber quickly. Too good for me, isn't she? It's alright. It was a rhetorical question.
I can't really say, but she looks familiar for some reason.
Maybe. Chester doesn't really seem like he's interested in delving into the mystery. Right, gentlemen? I think it's time I did what I set out to do.
1 second, Master Decker. Master Macra, and Elsef hands you a scroll of enhanced charisma. I think if Master Decker is doing this, we should cast any help we can on him. I'm holding up the guidance spell. Would you cast this scroll of enhanced charisma on him?
It's pretty nice of you to assume I can read.
I didn't want to ask Master Felt in case he had a better spell to cast.
Macro unfurls the scroll and gives it a read.
Yeah, it's like you're not familiar with reading scrolls, but you do get it done. But it's like reading it slowly, and eventually you cast it on him.
Feels weird doing this without some of the people that helped here, but hey ho. And Chester will slowly unravel the scroll.
Right, so you have to put it on the floor because it's so big.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, there is a nearby table actually. It looks like there's some stuff on it, but you just part and lay it on. And do you begin?
Any objections? Speak now, or forever hold your peace.
Good luck, is all I'll say.
Objections.
Righto. He cracks his knuckles, kind of looks around, seems a bit anticlimactic, really, doesn't it? Looks down at the scroll, begins the casting.
And that's where we'll take a 5-minute break, and we will be right back.
You know how to
So, alright, yeah, we're back. We ended our first half with Chester just beginning to read the words on the scroll that he had spent so long to find. His allies and friends around him casting spells on him to enhance him, to protect him. And as you begin reading, Chester, begin saying the alien words, Elzef, who studies or wants to study this, you see Chester is beginning to not glow, so to speak, in some sort of peripheral vision. You are beginning to see something around him, like reality shaking ever so slightly, like as if your eyes are vibrating, as if there's an earthquake here. And then it takes him a full 20 seconds to build a crescendo where his eyes begin to give off a slight white light. And Chester, as you begin reading, reading and continue reading, your voice becomes cacophonous, almost distant, echoey. And Owen, at that moment, you begin having a headache. You take one step back, but it's too late. There's something shaking in your head. And Elza, if you turn slightly to the right to see Owen's eyes glowing bright blue, almost deep sea blue, to the point when they are also casting light down across the floor, up the amber, and in the back of your head, Owen, something is fighting you here. I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Okay. Inside your head, you hear a voice. It's killing us! And then time freezes. Chester.
Okay.
Time's frozen for you. Chester, you look around to see everything frozen. Nothing seems to be happening. You finished reading. And then the pavilion flap parts, and a robed figure walks in, looks at Elzef, frozen, looks towards Makra, and then Orwin, and smiles. He is elvish. Long white hair, eyes that are milky white, a goatee that extends from his chin and juts like a point. He's unadorned, no jewellery, nothing fancy. Chester. And there's a smile. And in that smile, you see a wolf smile. Come. And he holds out one hand.
Did it work?
There's somebody I want you to meet.
Thinking that it's worked, he takes his hand.
When you blink and open your eyes, you stand upon a precipice. Behind you, a jagged, decrepit desert of dry, red stone extends out. Above you is the void, cut clean down the middle like a great gaping wound. From its wound spreads red stars, light, a Milky Way of just lights and stars. But there's one prominent star in front of you. It's shaped oddly, almost like a dodecahedron, a 20-sided dice, and it glows and emanates light, and beside you find the robed figure again. Now,
Nice.
Congratulations, Chester. You are one of many that have managed this. But
One of many.
since Carsus, since he killed himself, since he stupidly tried to break the law,
Yeah. Wow. I definitely have my reservations. Chester Decker, let's do some formal introductions. Chester holds out his hand. Perhaps you've heard of me.
I have. I am AO.
Does Chester know who that is, or?
Roll a religion check.
Yeah.
Ao,
Wow.
the god of gods.
Chester is completely and utterly dumbstruck. Well, fuck. Literally drops to his knees. It's humbling. I wasn't expecting to be in your presence.
He does kneel, and he puts one hand underneath your chin and lifts you up. Rise, young godling. I'm not the one you have angered. It's him. And points towards the funny-shaped star.
Who's him?
Everyone answers to someone. Even I answer to someone.
You surely don't need to answer to anyone.
Yes. Yes, I do, I'm afraid. But I am here to part his rules. To ask of you something.
Of course.
Of course, it is your choice to cast this spell. And you may go ahead and cast this spell. Probably dooming yourself and the rest of the world. But...
You mean I haven't cast it yet? And Chester does look around, visibly a bit disturbed at that.
Oh, no. You haven't, not yet. But I can put you back for you to finish it. Like I said, dooming your world, probably killing your friends around you, probably killing yourself, just like Cassus did. But many before you have taken this choice. Now we barter. Or do you want not to cast the spell?
You mean I ask for anything right here, right now?
He
And all I
says,
gotta do is not finish reading that scroll.
not just finish it. You have to agree to hand it to me. Just like Balan did before you. Just like all the others.
That cheeky fucking bastard. Alright, let's barter. But listen, if it truly is my choice, and there's something I'm about to pitfall into here, I will do everything I can to hunt down that scroll again, and I will cast it within an inch of its fucking life if I don't get what's owed.
Give me one moment. And as he turns, he bows and goes to one knee in front of this funny-shaped star. And then you hear a voice behind you, and you turn to see a man of medium stature, probably 5'7". Long hair, horseshoe-shaped balding pattern, kind of like a gingerish beard. He wears a white robe, but half... It kind of like stops at his hips. A sort of zip that goes down the middle with pockets either side. Wears black breeches. Is barefoot. You're bartering with me now. What do you want?
And who am I in the presence of here?
And you turn to see Ao beside you say, manners, Chester. And then kind of falls to one knee.
Seeing him do this, Chester does fall.
Mm-hmm.
Please forgive me. I am but a mere author. I wish to know to whom I am bartering with.
The one in control. What do you want? Begin.
Very well. I need the celestial armor removed from Maisie Decker. I need it gone. I need her restored. And I don't want her just back, mind you. I want her strong. I want her to be able to defend herself from any other threat that may perceive itself to her. Give her a strength by which I could never hope to attain.
Done. And Chester, as this happens, you have a sudden pain, a migraine, a flash of agony in the back of your mind, and you see a roaring comet travelling through the void. It's trailing golden yellow dust behind it, and then you blink and you see that this figure's gone. And Ao stands and says, Continue, Chester. What do you want?
Oh, Jesus. I'm not done. There's a woman down there. Her name's Elzeth. She's got half a soul. I don't care how you do it. And I'm not precious. I don't care if you rip it out of the other vessel. I want those two souls reunited in her body.
Alright, so there's a moment where you're no longer standing on this platform in the void, and you are standing in a very, very familiar shop. Gwandia's Curio Cat House. And at a table, Gwandia currently has a face of anger, like he's arguing, and there stands a elf across the table. She's yelling down at him, and she has a pixie haircut, kind of red. Her eyes scintillate with many colours, and he walks over, one punch into the side of this elf's side, rips something out, and then chucks it to a stream outside the door, and then suddenly you're back on the platform. It is done.
Jesus. Is it normal for me to feel this way?
Feel what way?
Oh, I've got a splitter.
And then at that moment, you fall to one knee, your hands go into your temples, and you look to your fingers shaking. There's blood on your hands. And then you see in your mind's eye that same comet landing somewhere. There's like a cloud of green, grey, yellow dust. And then it flashes to an elf with a crown of yellow. And then you come out of it and stand back up. Continue on, Chester. You can stop at any time.
Galabash. He was...
Which one?
the one that has crossed paths with me. I know you can see
No,
them.
you have crossed paths with two Galabashes.
He's bound.
In your world, he's
To
known
a-
as the Void Eater.
The one in the library.
The one in the library and not the one in the Feywild.
The one in the world of ruin. Yeah.
He is currently dead.
Bring him back. And sever whatever debt he owes to whatever lesser deity beneath you.
Of course. Takes a deep breath. Suddenly you see an image of a young, strong orc. And you see a skeletal-faced, hooded man. And you see his chains beholden. And they snap. The chains break. The links shatter. And immediately, Chester, you grab your chest. Palpitations rip across your chest. You feel a lightning bolt of pain down your arm. And as you begin shaking, your legs go beneath you and you fall to the ground. You see the image of a fire-obsessed madman with a woman clothed in red, the elf with a yellow crown. They walk to a cliff face, and beyond is an armada of thousands of ships, and over that you see a cloak of yellow. You stand back up. Do you want to continue on, Chester?
Two. Is he still in pain?
Oh, yeah.
2 more. And then I'm done. Macra. He's down below.
He is.
Something ails him.
Nothing.
I want it
ails him.
gone.
Nothing ails him, Chester.
What do you mean nothing ails him?
He is how he's meant to be.
Then if not him, then his children. Can you ensure them long and happy lives?
Are you sure?
Oh. Chester's not sure, that's the problem. Fine. Then I'll
Is that a request then?
give him... Yeah, he'll stick with that.
It is done. And you see a bright future for them, a tunnel of gleaming gold, but something blocks it. A great yellow wall. And he
And
says,
lastly,
"It is done to my best of my ability." And then at that moment, you stop breathing for a moment. You fall back. He grabs hold of your robes, you're at the front, your armour, and he says, "You can hold on. Can you make a Constitution saving throw, Chester? You can make it with advantage."
cool.
That's fine. You see, briefly, very briefly, the God King in her younger days. He holds an orb up to an altar decorated in blood, and he says, "Yes, of course, Master." And as he stands, you see the yellow glow in his eyes, and then you take a deep breath, and you feel blood running from your chin down. You feel like this last one might just be beyond your reach, but you can try.
Oh, can you show me the world map quickly? It's the last thing I need.
Of course, of course. Give me a second.
Ooh.
Literally struggles absolutely everything. I fucked up a little bit.
You did.
You know Thebo, right?
Mm-hmm. That was not your fault.
Nope. But you can fix it, right?
The scroll was cursed by something beyond me. Something not controlled by the strings of the Great One. And he points towards the funny-shaped star. There is a vile thing coming for your world, Chester.
And that's
Something that I cannot even control. A virus.
Jesus. Alright. In that case, there's one more thing I do want to do. Aye, Jesus. There's a dwarf by the name of Grildar Ironblood.
There is. A man consumed with vengeance.
Aye.
You know, recently, he's procured some of that vengeance.
I know. I want you to restore unto him what he has lost if you are within that power.
He's quiet for some time. I can. Are you sure you want this?
Sure as ever.
Can you roll a Constitution saving throw with advantage?
Perhaps you've fucking heard of me.
And Chester dies.
Shit.
Chester, there is a resounding thump in the back of your head, and for the last briefest moments, you see Grildar's family restored. His parents, sat back at their table, rather perplexed. However, you see an elf, and he steps upon soil not of his own, guarded and guided by what looks like a yellow spirit. His crown of yellow gleams with golden sunlight, and you see something writhe and kind of like undulate out from beneath his cloak. And there's a smile. It's a wolf smile. And then you can't breathe. And as you fall to the ground, Ao cups your chin and says, "You did everything you could have. It's fine. It's fine." And kind of lays you down. Just lets you rest there as you can't breathe and says, "It's okay. This is only a transition. If your friends want you back, they'll have you back." And Chester, you close your eyes. Time, just appears. And at that moment, your headache suddenly disappears, Orwin. And in front of you, Chester just falls to the ground limp. And then there's a shattering explosion. You and Elzef just stands there as it hits the resilient sphere and goes all around it. But Macron, both of you have to hold your arms up, and then somebody, the woman trapped in amber, falls out right next to Chester, and a shaky hand lays upon his.
Well, I guess we're not getting paid then.
I feel like Elsef was paid.
Elzef, you feel different. Very different. And then you begin shaking, and everyone looks towards Elzef, and there's a black smog exiting her skin. You look towards her, and her eyes are black. There's something protruding from your shoulders. Tentacles of necrotic energy begin exiting out. Can you make a Constitution saving throw?
I can make a conjuring throw. But
Just
I am
going back
going
a
to
little
use
bit, Liam.
advantage. Because I have inspiration.
Okay.
Did I recognise that voice that said they're killing us or something?
You did, briefly. You've heard it before, but only in dreams and moments of very strenuous activity. Training, things like that.
I'll
However-
make a shagging joke.
However, at that moment, it begins to resonate in the back of your mind with Elzif in front of you, who you see is looking around, and at that moment, Elzif, you push back whatever is trying to take over you, and as you do, push it back, you open your eyes to see a deep darkness in front of you, and you see bright white eyes open. So you're my new host.
Am I? Which Elsef am I right? Am I restored Elsef or am I still fucked up head Elsef?
You're restored if you want to be, yeah.
Oh, that's good. Who's host?
Mine.
What deal am I getting here?
None. I'm
Right, I'm
you,
not then.
and you are me now.
I take it Master Decker fucked it up then.
Fucked one up. 1 minute, I'm in that she-bitch elf. Next, I'm in this she-bitch elf. Different elves. Both she-bitches.
Oh.
We did say that. Yeah, can you remember? She did say that she was probably corrupted, didn't we?
Oh yeah. It's Vivian's thingy with Jiggy.
Yeah.
You are now the new Void
Yeah.
Soul. Well done.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
yeah, that's a good gain. Oh, so Master Decker didn't fuck it up. I fucked it up. I miscalculated. This whole time, I thought he would fuck it up. God! And also just screams.
Yep. Alright, and yeah, this female figure in front of you is on the floor as well. Passed out by the sounds of it, looks of it, because her breath is moving up and down. What are you guys doing?
Is he dad then? Or can you do your
You're asking Elsa that?
Yeah.
Currently, she's just screaming and bashing against her own resilient sphere.
Alright, she's
Yeah.
Ripping apart a few
and then
notebook
just like-
pages she had.
You hear the Void Soul. I'm not trapped. You're trapped in here with me.
fucking Rorschach in it. For fuck's sake. Right, go on.
Elsa breaks the sphere. And runs over there.
Elsa.
Step aside, I'm fixing the shithead.
Yeah, okay, you have to move Maisie out of the way.
Yep, she just shoves her
I'll
aside.
pick Maisie up and pour her down on something.
Then Elsa takes out a whole bunch of diamonds she still has on her. I actually do have 300 GP worth of diamonds, which is good in this case. And just gets out the good old defibrillator and shocks Chester back to life if that still works.
Give me a second.
Where?
Chester, I sent you a message.
Oh, look.
Do you want to come back?
I want to point out again, Revivify doesn't give you a choice in theory, according to Raw.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's just like. You're back.
It's the only resurrection magic in the game that doesn't give you a choice. It just does it.
Sorry, for some reason this is not working, the function. There we go.
Just waiting for a second.
Gonna do this thematically.
Yes.
There we go.
So, Chester, you feel something in the deep void grabbing hold of you, pulling you back. A great force, a wind, like, just dragging you. And then you open your eyes and you just see the pavilion above you. And then you see Elzef's face. Her eyes deep, dark, and inky black.
Ugh!
Don't me!
The fuck is going on?
You did it! You didn't fuck up.
And you put contacts in or something to celebrate? I don't get it.
Chester Decker.
No. She's a fucking
Yes.
void soul.
After years, I got restored to my full status, and the first thing I did before reviving your ass is put on contacts into my eyes as a silly fucking joke.
Whoa! Was that sarcasm?
The new Elzef smoke like swears a lot as well.
Does Chester notice Maisie?
Yeah, she's passed out on the floor, for sure.
Completely disregards everyone.
If she was just like on the cold hard floor, it's probably in Macro's arms right at this point.
Oh, yeah, so she's passed out in Macro's arms.
I can't fucking believe it. And she actually worked.
You did it, lad.
So,
What do you mean it worked? You died, and where's our stuff?
yeah, I'll get you paid, that's fine. It actually worked.
Did it though?
What did he promise? What's his face? Because he's forgotten.
He decided in the end he wanted a map of all the magical items on the planet. If it was going to be such a grandiose spell, that's what he asked for.
It truly did slip his mind, though.
It's interesting because I reminded you about 2 minutes before the spell was cast, just in case you had forgotten.
Yep, he genuinely was thinking about other things. I knew, but Chester forgot.
Alright, that's fair enough.
Oh, shit. Sorry, yeah. Looks like I'll be finding some items for you. And then turns away immediately and looks at Maisie. She right? You checked a pulse or anything?
No, I got you back to life. I'm sorry that I was busy. And then Elsef goes to check the pulse.
Yeah, she's got a pulse.
She's fine. You
Yeah.
did it. Congratulations.
Yeah, she looks like she's got a bit of muscle wastage, but nothing like too grand, nothing too bad.
Did I see anything happening while I was waiting?
It was a bit for about 20 minutes goes by, Laniros, and you're like with the teleportation circle. Then about 25, and then you just stop. You don't felt a
Yes.
brief ripple in the weave,
So no comet flying overhead or anything.
no, nothing like bright light, nothing over the top or exaggerated. Nothing.
Alright, then I'll start heading towards where he was going, because I assumed he would have explained it.
Mhm.
He's saying I wasn't going to join. So I'll start heading over there.
And you do.
We can take her to the workshop to have a proper look at her, or to, a hospital. Instead of
Right.
this ruin.
Well, seeing as things haven't worked out exactly quite how I thought they might, I've got some things I need to check up on, so can I see you back in Mokhul? If you go into Mokhul, I'll tell you what, I'll drop you a message. And he disappears.
Boom. Oh, and disappears.
He's so pissed.
Makra, carry Chester's bride or whatever to the workshop. I don't do lifting.
Macro wanders off to the workshop.
Now, Chester, what did you see?
You wouldn't believe. I kind of met God of Gods, had a little bit of a chat, and oh shit, Phoebo might be a problem.
What about Thebo?
It turns out it's something worse than we could have even imagined. Something the gods themselves can't even fix.
Okay.
That's it.
Anything else other than Thebo? I thought that was a done matter.
I mean, there's a... He literally has no idea what to say. Like, he can't even verbalize it.
Okay, you write a book about this, Master Decker. And not full of lies. This is important research.
Okay.
If at any point you knock out the God of Gods with a flintlock pistol and dance on his corpse...
Jesus, you've got a lot of metaphor coming your way all of a sudden, haven't you?
I'm very angry, Chester. I'll stop with the Master Decker. I'm very angry. Not at you. But I have about 5 years worth of bad decisions to work through, with emotions that have only come back just now.
Right you are. So... I have a job to do, actually. I think. And he looks really, truly distracted.
Yeah, at that moment, Laniros, the guards look at you as you approach, go, oh, you're one of his.
They still in there? Everything good?
Think they are? There was some commotion.
Do you mind if I go and have a look?
Everyone's going in, why not? You pass by, and Laniros, you walk into a state. A shattered piece of celestial armor, a passed out woman in Makrar's arms, Chester, who's got a faint golden glow to him now. Like, he looks a bit, in your vision, looks a bit more healthy, looks a bit more resplendent.
Everything went to plan then?
Yeah. It did, actually. Are we still in Elsworth's workshop, yeah?
No, we are. We're still haven't gone back yet.
No, you're going to head there now.
And nothing's happening, so Chester's going to pull out a piece of parchment and start writing on it furiously.
Okay.
Elsa, what exactly do you mean? It's tipping the balance? Or what's this supposed to mean?
Well, Master... Chester. I'm not currently employed. Chester. He did it the way we solved every issue while I was out of it, which is bad. He forgot Master Owen's bit. He didn't part the void soul from the bit he shoved back into me. So that's an issue I'm dealing with. Are you here? I can't hear him right now. Oh no, he's laughing in the background.
I miss Vivian. I want to break some bones.
Oh. He forgot Master Owen's bit. He did his bit, it seems. He half fucked up my bit. Oh no, it actually went quite well. He didn't destroy the universe. I take everything back I said. I thought this would go way worse.
Click, click, clickety, clack, clack.
Sorry, clackety click.
Right, well, it's clear what effect it has had on you. Makra, you're quite alright?
Does Makra feel any different?
No.
Just old as fuck.
You feel... as the days have gone by, you're starting to get used to the way you feel, Makra. Your body's starting to acclimatise. It just feels like the new you.
Yeah, still achy as fuck, but I think it's just becoming normal now.
Well, I didn't see any widespread destruction on the way here, so I guess things went better than we expected.
Me and Chester didn't take the piss with this scroll. Who'd have fucking thunk it?
Chester carries on writing, he ignores you.
Was he supposed to get you anything, Makra? For, what did you sign in the contract?
Oh no, it wasn't going to be the spell. He just owes me his life and servitude from now forevermore. He's now basically my bitch.
Alright, so you guys are heading towards the
I
workshop.
get 10% royalties.
Chester really needs to get a lawyer to check out the contracts he writes. What the hell?
Is Chester still in the room? Yeah.
Yeah, you're currently heading towards the workshop, right? So you pass the guards who lock up after you and say that they're going to tell the high historian in the morning what the fuck had just happened.
All right. Look, before we go anywhere, I need to ask all of you one last favour. And yes, I did remember. Well, you guys in that, but there is something I've got to do, and I hate to do it, but if it means another year apart, then it means, at the very least, the rest of our lives together. And I don't want to see me before that happens. Can I ask you one last favour, considering everything that's happened?
You mean considering everything we've done for you?
No, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, we're even right now, I would say, so...
Maybe us, but not everyone here. And regardless, I've got other things anyway. He pulls out 155 platinum, 4,697 gold pieces, and 281 silver pieces. This is all I can offer for this job. He puts it right down on the table in front of them. It is yours, between you. I don't care how you split it.
Fucking earth have you acquired that? I've been with you for what? The past 12 bastard months? I've not accumulated much gold, and you definitely aren't making that much from your books, you little bastard.
That's probably to do with your spending pattern, Macro.
We've
You're
also
ignoring
given
that.
him...
I'm saying I haven't accumulated that much this thought. Never mind, lost that much.
We've also given him a significant amount of money to fund the expedition, which then was used to fund the expedition because we were teleported to the island we were supposed to go to.
Yeah, we also did do that. So I feel like...
He is buying us with our own money.
Yeah. I think
Which
more than
anyway.
one way.
What do you need to do, Chester, before we agree to anything?
There is I need a year. I need you to look after her. I know it sounds ridiculous, I really do. Trust me, no one fucking knows better than me, and I would rather stay here and do whatever with you guys. I promise you that. But I need you to give her this. And he hands you a bag and a note, and I need you to take that, and I need you to keep an eye out for her for at least a year, and then I'll be back.
I can do that.
I mean, that's not as difficult as killing the God King or, going to a different reality.
True. But I have asked quite a bit of you. And I promise you in my final book, the one I will write on this travel, it will be nothing but the truth. Gentlemen, tips
No
aside.
mentions of Thebo.
If I do, it shall have my name underneath it. That I promise you.
As was discussed. Yes, wonderful.
Okay, so...
He takes one last look at Maisie and casts this on himself and vanishes.
Okay, we're gonna leave the workshop for about 15 to 20 minutes ago when Alwyn had teleported away. Alwyn, you arrive in your father's shop, and as you do, the beads part instantly and you see Gwandia's face. Oh, thank God. You're alright. You're fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit weird. I've had a strange day, but that's my question. I mean, are you alright? You said you were in danger.
Yes, okay. I'll explain everything. Just please come into the main shop, and as you walk past into the main shop, there's the shelves have been pushed apart, glass is all over the floor, there's a round table in the centre, and you see there's some some marks, like battle marks, tied down with her hands bound is an elf. Her red hair is dishevelled. She has a wound, a blackened wound on her side, and beads of sweat all down her body. You see that as her eyes flicker, they kind of give off multiple colours. I have some things to explain to you, and I'm gonna hope that you don't hate me for it.
Yeah, I think some explanation would probably be in order. I mean, that's a little bit weird, and I've had a fucking weird day, so that's saying something.
Yes, would you like a drink? In fact, can you do me a favour and help me move her? I mean, she was threatening me, so this isn't something weird. Of course, it wouldn't be, you know my preference. But I'm moving her, and I'm going to force cage her, so she doesn't get out in the meantime, if that's alright.
Right, yeah, well, of course I trust you, so...
Okay, yes.
Sure.
And he begins preparing the spell using some ruby dust, and eventually he creates a sort of force cage prison for her, and then turns to you and goes, "Oh, you know what? Forget the tea, forget any of those drinks," and he just reaches for the hard liquor under the cabinet.
I was going to suggest that, actually.
Yes. Okay, so... begins pouring you a glass. I mean... what do you remember from your childhood, Owen?
Not a huge amount, to be honest. Just, I remember the monolith, and then, I suppose, my nanny. I remember you turning up.
Yes.
Other than that, there's not a huge amount, really.
For good reason. Nanny wasn't nice. Oh, why am I talking to you like a child? You're not a child anymore. That automaton was not... She was nice, yes. She gave you everything you would ever need. And she was training you for something when I wasn't going to have that, and that's why I took you.
Right. What was she training me for?
Well, there was... when we found you, me and my friends, the adventuring party I was with, we realised what the monolith was. It was dedicated to something otherworldly. The automaton itself thought you were a chosen one, or some sort of... you know, that usual cultist blah 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 you get, where they raise you to be the vessel for some ancient deity or whatever. Obviously, her programming had fucked up, and we saw the cruelty that you and your sister were going to go through.
My what?
See, she was a lot older than you, and she had more sense at the time. She had escaped. I don't think you remember her that well. And I don't know if she was truly your sister by blood. All I know is that you were brought up young in the monolith.
Right.
I had news some years ago that your automaton nanny was seen... Why do I keep calling her that? I keep thinking that you're young. And he smiles. You do grow up quickly. It's, she was found or seen wandering far and wide.
Doing what exactly?
Looking for you. And I wanted the best for you. And this is where you might hate me. So, I gave you the best that I could to help you defend yourself. And you're a lot more powerful than you realise. Owen, you just have it locked away inside of you. I just wanted you to be able to fight off anything that came your way. I don't want you to be imprisoned again. I saw what potential you had as a child. My heart yearned for that potential to be realised. I love you, Orlin. You're my son, even if you are not my blood. It's just... by giving you this power, opened you up to more threats from others. Now, the automaton you know as Nanny does not care about this power, but others do, and I thought that I could hide you from them.
What is this power you're talking about? I know that I'm probably fairly advanced for my age, but I thought that was just because I had a good teacher.
Oh, well, you did have the best. Sorry. How do I say this? When you were leaving the monolith, you needed something to boost that power. Did you not think it strange that even at 17 years, your magic is so far advanced than your betters, so far more powerful, that you can push your body to cast and manipulate the weave more than any others?
Well, as I say, I thought I just put it down to good training from a young age.
He points towards the force cage. She came for you, Morwen. She's
Who is she?
someone I met some time ago, in my younger years. A young adventurer. I inherited something from my master. A very strong power. She's collecting them, and I made a deal with her that when I turned 60, I would hand this power over. She is an elf, and long-lived. She did not care for the time it took for me to grow old and die. Now, relinquishing this power doesn't kill me, but it weakens me. And she said at 60 she would come for it. Now, you know, in recent years, I have turned 60, and she has arrived to take that power from me, yet I don't have it. You do.
This power is what you gave me leaving the monolith.
Yes, I gave it to you sometime after that, but yeah.
But
My dear
what
boy,
is it?
you are the mana soul. Your spirit is entwined with the weave.
I've heard of the souls. We did some research on them.
Yes, and I became quite scared that you would realise early on that you held it. Please don't hate me, Owen. You can relinquish it back if you will, but it is strenuous on the body. I don't want it back, but she will fight tooth and nail for it.
Start with one thing. I don't hate you, Pa.
Okay. And he gulps down the whiskey.
But what do we do with her? If she's going to come after me? I barely even know who she is. I mean, other than some adventure of some kind. What's she want with me? She wants the power herself?
Yes. She wants to reunite them all the souls, and use its power to bring back a second age of sorts to the world, where nature reclaims the world. Now, I've heard of many other individuals wanted to reunite them for other things, for domination, for control. Her goal is not wholly evil. I don't think killing her is the right thing, if you understand me, my son.
Yeah, of course. There's been a lot of weird shit going on over the past few days, and enough killing, I think, has happened.
I agree. We should probably leave.
Where do you suggest?
I have no idea. You know, this has been our home for some time now. I kept it free from scrying, free from prying, otherworldly travel, but somehow I did that for your sister too, but it seems that your automaton found her.
She doesn't happen to be in her early 20s, and a blonde lass.
She would be in her early 20s right now, yes, but I don't know about the hair colour. Last time I saw her, she was a young girl, perhaps of 12.
I had a very strange occurrence not so long ago where you remember Chester. Of course, everyone's heard of him, but
Yes.
we're at his home in Longinier, and this is where my weirdness begins. He wanted to bring back his sister or his adopted sister or his cousin. I don't really know, but when I first saw her, she looked vaguely familiar to me, and she looks similar to me.
He takes off his pince-nez, and you see his eyes are completely wide. Did Chester Decker's... Did his parents die in a fire some time ago? Some years? A mysterious...
Not entirely sure when, but yeah, they did say that they died in the fire. I just learned this like an hour ago.
We need to go to her now.
Well, I think they might still be there. I mean, this all just happened like not so long ago.
He looks flabbergasted.
Also, the other weirdness.
And then he looks at you and goes... he just looks at you and goes, wait a minute. That's some fine fashion taste there. That's mine. And he looks down at his own meta mantle, then looks at yours.
Long story, but yes, it is yours. But not yours. But another you.
You've been busy.
Very much so.
Owen, my dear, we need to leave. Right now. Things are happening. Fate strings are weaving together. Knots are being tied. We're not there. We're here drinking whiskey. And he just downs part of the bottle and hands it to you and goes, hey, only a little bit. You're underage.
He drinks a little bit. I know where they are.
Okay, we need to leave right now.
Let's go to the shop. It's not too far. The one in Longinier.
Yeah, and as you go to stand up, you hear a voice come from the force cage. Just very low and, like, muffled. If you leave me here, I'll find you, Gwandia. And he just goes, let's go.
Yeah, we should probably deal with that at some point.
Yeah, for now. She's trapped behind there. She can't do nothing.
Right.
As long as she's got no tree in sight, nothing she can do.
Okay. To the shop then. And then to Chester's.
Okay. And I'm just going to quickly create a handout for Chester because he's sending me all of his belongings that he's leaving in, like... So... just...
Liam, don't worry. I've got it. I've taken a note. You don't have to do it.
Oh, okay.
I've got it all, don't worry.
Standing there invisible, undressing.
No, he's already handed the bag over. I just decided I didn't want to like metagame and take everything, so I've chosen like a very, very few small amounts.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 2,082 gold pieces each, and I guess Macra can help with silver because he needs it.
I like to assume that Chester does this quite often. He just turns invisible and gets naked in front of everyone.
Yeah. Okay, so are the rest of you heading back to Mokhul, or are you staying in the workshop in Longinier?
I don't think it matters. It's like one building connected by a portal.
It is true. So you guys would eventually meet up with Alwyn sometime later, who runs in with his father, Gwandia. You see, Gwandia's got like a load of stuff like in a satchel. He's got a bag of holding, and basically before you left Alwyn, he chucked a load of his magical items that were in the shop in the bag of holding. And kind of like bursts into the workshop just as you guys are arriving. Macra with Maisie in his arms.
That one there in the bugbear's arms.
Put her down. Put her down, big boy.
I'll put it down to where he's pointing me to do it.
Okay, and puts her down on one of the tables, clears it. He looks at her, opens her eyes. They have a faint blue glow.
Owen, what's going on?
A lot. is the short answer to that. The long answer is pretty fucking long.
Okay, do like an image.
This might be my sister. Maybe. I don't know.
And to make matters complicated, there's a flash of light. And Laniros, behind you, you see a very familiar Aladrin. And I can't find his goddamn name. Give me a second. Aha.
What the fuck is happening?
Yeah, a lot's happening at the same time.
You're all trespassing in my workshop right now.
Okay, yeah. So he's appeared, and you see your brother, Tavbin. His hair is dishevelled slightly. The usual autumnal colours. And he just stares at you. He says, Laniros.
Yes.
Gives a slight incline, walks forward, and puts one hand on your shoulder.
How are you?
We need you home.
How come?
And he points out the window to the golden star in the sky.
Yes, what of it?
The faking. He's seen a vision. And he looks around the room to all of the rest of the group. And he says, we should talk in private.
Very well. What if I need to leave now? That's not opportune. I could leave tomorrow.
I'll stay here with you then. Time, as you know.
In the meantime.
This is dire. And then he looks around the room and he's like, we being scried on?
Oh, most likely.
Rushes straight over to Elzef and begins like rummaging through your bags.
Elsef just gives Laniros an exasperated look.
And like Glenara shares the look. It's like, yeah, but just let him have it. That kind of look like.
I barely want your brother in this workshop. Now you're going through my shit.
Look, where is it? And he's like going through your pack really like, and everyone's just, I'm assuming, just looking on this like, this is so like random. This is so.
Elsef has a high intellect.
It's
so
become par for the course for the day, to be honest.
Yeah.
Elsef hands him the Yellow King's orb.
Yeah, the moment you get it out, he goes, and then like kind of like bounces it out of your hand, takes off his cloak and throws it over it.
Oh yeah,
you're an idiot!
I thought that might have to do with the ominous star in the sky, but I really wanted Master Decker to cast that spell, so I didn't want to bring it up.
Well, next time, do bring it up.
Well, kind of had a soul issue going on.
Yes.
Do you want all the ominous books on him I have stashed in the workshop as well, or is this orb good enough for you?
What?
Oh yeah,
He looks exasperated. Absolutely. I've spent so much time trying to prevent this.
And Elsef just gets out the beings beyond the void, the yellow devil, the gold king, the darkness to call home, and astral creatures from a shelf.
He just looks... What? You just had these casually laying around. Give me them! And he begins snatching them off the table.
I put them on a shelf, okay?
Mm-hmm. I did tell you before, didn't I? You should stop hanging around with like-minded people so much, and you might discover something new.
He begins shoving them in the pack. It's like, Laniros, the faking needs you home. He looks around. You can bring your friends if you want.
I was ignoring that and trying to see what's happening here.
He goes quiet. And takes a seat. Just like, petulantly drags it across the ground, across the workshop floor, and then just goes, ugh. Well then, business.
Yes, Alwyn. I believe you were trying to make a in-between version between It's a Long Story and the actual long story.
Okay, so like the abridged version is basically, this might be my sister. Par, have you got anything on that? I think I might be one of the souls. That's also correct, right, Par? and
You're doing well.
Me
You're
too,
doing.
me
I'm
too.
really proud of you.
Someone might be hunting me as well, but they're in the first cage. But she probably wants to kill me after she gets out. Don't know. And where's Chester?
Oh, he's gone.
Well, like the kind of nanny I had when I was younger might have killed his parents.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought you were just like a fanboy drag along to Chester. What the hell?
Yeah, well, that's the abridged version. As I say, the rest of it's probably a mite longer. And well, I've only just heard about this in the last 10 minutes or so. So it's all kind of new to me.
Gondia says, to understand the strings of fate and time.
Marco, did you also fuck someone related to Chester, or are you just like, right? Is there any surprising thing you have?
I definitely should have had my way with one of his little like servant shunter, really. Never mind. I've learned for next time.
Okay, so nothing surprising from your side, yeah?
No.
Okay, good.
Also, I might have been brought up in some kind of cult to be like an avatar for some kind of evil thing. I don't know.
You can see Tavbin's face, his jaw has just dropped.
I think Linares and also have the same like squinted-eyed look. Like,
you know, it was supposed to be easy once I had my soul back. I would have, bid all of you farewell. We would have hugged. I would have given Master Decker a bill for all the services rendered.
If it's any consolation, though, I think Gwandia dealt with the whole code thing, so it's all good. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
That's usually not a very healthy attitude to take, but also if you need it, and then like he just holds his hands out for a hug.
No, but and Elsa pulls out the aged good berry wine she stole on the train, and a few glasses.
Oh, wine! Yes, of course. What am I doing? Look, we've only.
You aren't even invited in. You're trespassing still.
I'm his father.
In theory, he wasn't here when I decided to go here, so he wasn't invited in.
Fine. And he pulls out a hip flask.
Well, now that we are going through the motions of revealing everything that's happened, I guess I should tell you about this, and I'll pull out the orb. So,
The orb. Oh no. Oh my god, now that you're revealing all your secrets, everyone just start laying them on the table. This is insane. This is like an intervention.
But all to get up a potato shaped like a fist.
I figured I would share this with you. There's perhaps something here that could help us in dealing with all that's happening. There's, and I'll show them the puzzle orb and show them that it's solved, of course. And say,
Yeah.
well, this leads to. I don't really know how to say it. Well, we've obviously experienced planar travel together recently. This is similar, but this leads to. Well, I believe an ancestral sort of home for Mistra. I haven't dared go by myself, and I didn't want to drag you in without having done what I promised to do. But we might need to go soon. After, of course, securing her, one way or another, looking at Maisie.
Yeah, okay, yeah, she's still unconscious on the table.
It's so weird. Like, on any other day, that would be such a mic drop moment. But today, it's just, well, it's just another thing.
Also, still like squinting at Macro, waiting for him to drop something.
You ain't getting nothing from me.
Wait, I have kids?
We already did that storyline, I remember it now.
That would be the big reveal. It would be
That would have been the most moment, yeah.
he actually truly loves his kids.
Oh, probably not then.
Yeah,
Jesus.
fuck. You really need to. How long have you been away from your children? They've been gone for like 3-4 months. At
And we
least.
have teleport.
I know. Go see them at any time. Anyway, so as you guys are all speaking, and Tavbin's jaws dropped, like he's just got this slack jaw expression of he can't believe that his brother has got involved in all of this, and then he just get. Who are you? And points at Gwandia and goes, "Oh, sorry, Gwandia Felt. It's a pleasure." And then just looks him up and down and goes, "Always a pleasure to meet an elf as fine looking as you."
Now's not the time.
I was just chuckling in the corner.
Yeah, Tavern's like, "We need to get home. I'd be willing to stay 1 cycle."
He's always like that, you know.
And you're always a bit... I don't have the words at the moment. Laniros, you need to stop your fanciful adventures. This is serious.
Fancy.
And this isn't?
What? How dare you? You are disobeying an order from the Feyfather.
As he expects me to when it's important.
He like bangs his head against the table slightly.
You're always so literal. Grow up.
Do I get my orb and my books back?
He goes, "I'm 511.
And still you haven't learned.
I'm practically an adult."
You'd think, Oh, never mind.
I'm following you though. Make sure you don't just reveal any random orbs. I mean, I don't even know what this one is, and he points at the that you just grabbed out of your bag. What does it do? Blow up the world? Destroy all living things?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
clearly.
Shit, I understand sarcasm now.
You like Adrian has to just get used to now role-playing
No,
sarcasm.
I also just says that. I was just like, I was excited for a second.
And at that moment, Maisie's eyes open. Todd. Hello, Todd?
Still me too.
Hello?
Hello. We are friends of your... We're friends of Chester. He's asked us to look after you.
Oh. And she passes out again.
Well, that was the GM's attempt to get Todd into the scene, but I guess that's not happening.
That is literally the only way I could see her reacting in that situation.
Big
guess
fucking
so.
Al standing above her.
Pa, is it her? Is she?
Oh, Gwandia is too busy staring at Tavbin, and he turns around and goes, "Excuse me?"
The woman.
Oh. His eyes go wide. Darling, is that you? Is that... What is your name? Does he...
It's just like...
Thank you for the follow, Lolita Doll 22.
What an episode to join on!
I know, what episode to join.
To be fair.
Smelling salts and tries to, you know.
It's like the craziest episode we've ever had. But he turns to you. I think it might be. It's very difficult. It looks like she's gained some sort of
Well, that's not nice to say.
ancient, like some sort of. And with that, Elzef, you recognise her straight away. She's an Asima.
I mean, wasn't Owen one as well, or
No.
No,
so
he's a C1 human.
oh, well, okay. Are you sure you two are related? Because, this one's not human. Like, not 100%.
Gwandia tells you, in fact, Asimar can be born of humans. So she may have probably started human. And became Asimar.
Whatever Chester did dicking around with a spell that makes you a god.
He did what now? He managed it? This is Gwandia.
Well,
It happens like...
kind of like part managed it. We don't really know.
It happens like Chester's a god?
No, he's not. Like, we don't think he didn't become a god. Like, did he?
I don't think so.
Didn't come across.
I mean, he
godlike.
died, so I don't think gods really die that often.
Oh, they generally don't. No.
I don't know. We've got a track record of killing God.
Well, the God King wasn't, in theory, a god. Macro.
He does type on the celestial keyboard quite loudly, though.
That's right. It didn't stay down chapter 2.
Like all pervading across all audio spectrums. I don't know how he does it.
Oh my god! I've killed the God King.
Magic, my boy.
He's just invisible in the room. Oh, I'm gonna miss Chester.
Well, Master Gwandia, to get you up to date, Chester read from a scroll he gathered together. Stuff happened. I am obviously fixed. Your adoptive son got nothing. He also didn't give Laniros anything, which I don't know if he asked for anything specifically.
Oh, Elsef, darling, you were perfect to begin with. You didn't need fixing.
Oh, no, she did.
Don't creep at me in my workshop.
I wasn't creeping, I was just paying you a compliment.
Don't creep at me in my workshop.
Oh, alright.
This goes for both workshops.
He leans in, by the love of Mistra. He's worse.
She still has 4 charisma. And then, the celestial armor around this one broke apart, Chester died, and anything else?
Well, there was definitely something strange happening. I lost my connection to the weed for a moment, and it seemed to ripple in some way, like as if someone was sticking their hand through it, adjusting the strings. Guani, does that ring any bells?
Not really, no. You may think
You've also got black eyes as well. Sorry, just throw that one in there. That's
that's the Void Soul. Did I not mention that?
Yeah, okay. You've got the Void Soul. You may want to run to.
I have all these portals to go
From
to.
whom?
Well, the one that is chasing my son here is also after... I'm pretty sure she had it already, though. She threatened me with it. Did you get it?
Well, Chester got it for me.
Oh. So Chester used his power to take it from her. No wonder why she was suddenly injured and passed out. This all makes so much sense.
Do you want it?
Well, you can't give it up without dying.
That's not technically true. I mean, she did.
Yeah, but she's a whole new kettle of fish. And also, I don't think it was ripped out of her forcefully like... Well, I guess it was, but not in the same way.
What if we kill me, and you take it and you bring me back?
Would that work? I don't know if that would work. No, I don't think it would. I don't
I'm
know.
a little bit lost with the whole thing as well.
For now, how about you keep the souls that you have? I mean, and then we move on. What about you, Macro? How are you feeling? I mean, you're quite quiet over there. I see you've taken to the drink already. How are you feeling? You're looking a bit grey.
Yeah. No, I'm still getting used to that. Guess I'm excited that he's doing. Anyone actually know where Chester's gone? Is he just fucked off and not told us where he's going?
Yes.
Turned invisible and then walked away.
Such a dick.
He did leave a letter for Maisie with a bag.
Oh, yeah,
While Macro's been quiet, then he's probably gone and sneaked that.
You gonna give it to Maisie?
No,
Isn't she still passed out?
He might give it to her in a minute.
Okay.
I I can show it to you, but I am currently in the process of writing it because it's quite long. And it was also going to make up Chester's last. If you want it and are happy to have it, it was going to make up Chester's last catch up next episode.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that later. Next session then.
As long as that's alright.
Reading this, and he's like, I'm happy.
So, do you want to reveal the Feywild stuff to us, Mr. House Guest? Because you might as well.
It's Tavbin. I met you in the Feywild while I was in the court as you were being tried.
Completely unjustified.
I don't ever remember this.
I don't believe you were there. I've never met you before.
Right, that's good, because I don't remember you.
You're a bit young, aren't you?
For what?
Just being here.
Don't know what you mean.
Tubman, could you move past yourself and get on with the story?
Unlawfully tried again.
Look, Tubman says, I'd rather just speak to you on our own.
Molyneux, do you want to take your brother to the workshop in Mokhul and then just come back once you...
Fine. Off you go.
He just gives you all one last glance and then leaves and walks into a side room.
And while you do that,
Elsif just way, and I'll shove the portal.
Elsif just makes simple conversation with Owen. So, Chester's your brother-in-law. How does that feel?
It's a little bit strange, to be honest. You know, I just learned that I have a sister, and then he's my brother-in-law. Well, I suppose it was only like a fiancé, right? They're not technically married, so... Not quite yet, so it's all good. It's all good, I think.
She's quite a bit younger, isn't she?
What, than Chester?
Yeah.
How old is Chester?
They're around the same age.
26.
Is
well.
he? Comes across much older.
Like 26 and 22, it's not that bad.
All the years of bullshit had aged him.
Elsif can't tell humans apart anyway, so...
Yeah, I mean, that's... It's probably like the kind of lightest detail, the fact that he might be my brother-in-law. Of all the other stuff that's happening, it's probably on the bottom of the pile at the moment.
I don't know. That'd be the thing I'd definitely be most upset about.
Have you had a void soul inside of you, Macra? I thought I'd be done with this shit. I thought this was it.
I'm not about on his shit list. You've got your own problems. Corrupted little fucker.
And now, please move on to Anna so we can figure out the final piece of the puzzle of things we have to do before this campaign is over.
Okay, so Laniros, Tavbin begins immediately pacing the room. You see there's sweat beading on his rather pronounced brow. He begins wiping it away. Laniros, the faking is worried.
I'll just sit down cross-legged on the floor, ignoring his pacing.
Yeah, I can't. I'm nervous. I don't like being here. The material plane is wrong somehow. Stuffy. Too many rules. We need to go home to discuss this with the Fey King. He says it's of great importance. There is something on the way. It's already reached its claws, its tentacles out, probing minds, controlling people. Fey King thinks it's already infiltrated certain monarchs. We need to stop it. Or at least try to stop these individuals from being too far gone to be helped. If it lands here, its influence will spread to other planes. The Fey King is calling it the Dreamweaver. We don't really know what it is. But let me assure you, it's much bigger in the Feywild sky than it is here.
Somehow you're failing to convey me of the urgency to return to the Feywild. What should I do there?
Haven't I told you? The Fey King wants to speak to you. It must be something... A mission I don't know. My mission was to get you. But it's fine. If you want to stay here and play with your friends in the material plane, then do that. You know most of them are going to be dead before you're even of middle age, right?
So you've travelled all this way, and the only thing you can tell me is, I don't know, he wants to talk to you.
He sent me. He's not exactly going to appear on the material plane himself, is he?
No, I'm not faulting him, I'm faulting you.
Well, look, I know we argue a lot, but this is serious. Brother. And you see, he loses the anger, becomes somber.
I recognise the seriousness of what you're saying. But there's things to do here as well, so... Tomorrow, as I said.
Tomorrow, then. Takes a deep breath.
Mm-hmm.
Brushes the sweat through his hair, leaving it kind of like stuck back slightly. Okay.
And I'll return to the others.
And he follows you.
So what's the big news then?
Well, I don't know why he wanted to speak to me in private. He just wants me to come back to the Feywild to have a chat. Which I said I would do tomorrow.
Can't he just send you a message? Like, don't you boys have that power?
Do you not have a post office in the Feywild?
Yeah, well, can't you just send like a bird or
Some people are meant to be servants, I suppose.
Do you have to kill me now that you've told me this great secret?
Is that a thing?
I was just glanced at him like, you mean me? This is not at all.
Yeah, no, I was fucking with you. I can do that now.
Yeah, it's new else, that's weird.
Right, yes.
Backcraw. As the night is going on, begin to get tired. Were you partaking in the alcohol by chance?
He's always on the wine, mate.
Alright, so you begin to snooze slightly in the corner of the room as the rest of them are discussing things, and you're in that dream again. You're running. You're a child. You see the hooded figure. You see your father on one knee trying to fight as the hood descends upon the back of his head. There's a kind of loud sucking, siphoning sound like flesh and blood, and as you look up you see great yellow eyes embedded in the hollow skulls of a dragon covered in slimy purple veined flesh, and when it roars you see bugbears flee before it. You're one of them. You remember being held aloft, you and your sister, and then you remember the crystal lights, the crystal dark, and the plight of the bugbears across the sand, across the dunes. You remember being chased, the fight, the smell of death on the air, the heat. And then you wake up, shoot up, and everyone. Makra jumps up and with one swing sends the table hurtling across the room, smashes across the far wall, and his Kopesh is in his hand.
Fuck!
Makra, calm down.
We need
You're right
fucking
there, big boy.
Glenda.
That wakes Maisie up with a start as well.
That's what she comes with.
Makarov picks up another bottle again.
Who's Gwendeth and why do we need her?
Fucking dragons, apparently. Oh, dragon.
What?
Really Jester her up and get his arse back, really.
Isn't Gwendeth the dwarf Chester always talks shit about? Why do you need her?
Dragon hunter.
To fuck a
extraordinaire.
dragon?
Say a bad word against her. And Makarov throws the empty bottle at Alsaf.
Not to be rude,
Just
but
the bottle.
who the fuck are you
Right, so we tried explaining that. You then immediately passed out again. We're friends of Chester. He's asked us to look after you.
Well, you say friends, more hired mercenaries at this point.
I think Chester and I were getting on.
He didn't leave any explanation as to why.
Yeah, he did. I'll show you that in a minute.
I think we put it somewhere next to the tomes on the ancient evil that was controlling this country's monarch.
Yeah, it's over there. Macro walks over there and then pulls it out of his loincloth or wherever he's been keeping it, and then goes and hands it to Maisie.
And as you do, Brandia puts a soft hand upon your shoulder, Macron says, "You know, I can help with that. The rage, the memories. You seem to be having nightmares. Would you like some help?"
Fuck me. You can stop them.
Not stop them, but I can
How?
go to the source, perhaps help you through just maybe talking about it. Maybe finding a solution is the way forward.
Don't feel talking ever achieves much, but I guess we can give it a go. Where do you want me? Do you want me to lie down there?
There's no need to lie down. Just take a seat.
I jumped onto like a settee or something, like he's getting ready for a therapy session.
Alright, cool. So in the corner, Grandia and Macro are going at their therapy session. We'll probably start that at the start of next session. But is there anything anyone else would like to do?
That bastard! Jumps to her feet, reading the letter. Looks like I'm sticking around for a while. I hate to break it to you, but you've been travelling with an absolute knob for the last year.
You're
No,
breaking
dude,
this to us now.
I am shocked.
She storms towards the door, opens the doorknob, and I need a moment. Oh, but he has a message for you, and the prick has written it in prose, as he is wanting to do.
Yes, we've
Oh, go on, man.
gotten used to that.
He says, "Seek to hide, cower and run. The dance of golden stars begun. A blot on Shadow's empire's sun. Something wicked this way comes." And she leaves.
Okay.
Hold on a moment, and I'll just walk after her. Are you leaving, or are you just taking a moment?
Just a moment.
And I'll just spin on my heel and turn back.
Just go through the next room. It's not like this isn't your house or anything. Go up the stairs, why don't you?
She storms up the stairs.
Sarcasm!
You hear a door slamming in the second floor up.
What the fuck was that?
I think that was the first good thing Chester has ever written.
He's actually
Okay.
quite poetic.
Slightly worrying as well that he knows about this more than he's willing to let on, and then leaves.
Oh, I thought you meant that he can write, and then he wrote all these garbage novels.
Yeah, where exactly did he
that's
go?
sad. We don't really know, do we? But I'm sure we can find out if we really must.
I don't know. He was here when I left, and now he's gone. So
Well, he turned invisible and he left.
Right, well, he said, "I'm leaving," turned invisible and left.
We asked him to explain, but he just
right,
told us,
okay.
watch my wife, well, whatever she is, and yeah. I'll be back in a year.
A year.
A year.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, that
recall
certainly does sound a bit strange.
Where would you rank that on the things of this evening?
It's probably a middle ground, but maybe it's accelerated up a little bit with our, how it kind of portrays with the star and all the other weird shit that's happening.
You hear a door slam open upstairs. "He's a fucking bastard!" And the door slams shut again.
Maybe she doesn't know him as well as what she thought she did.
Maybe she
Or
just
much
doesn't
better than
respect-
I would like to.
Maybe she just doesn't respect my property.
Well, I think if there's anything
Yeah, she
anyone wants to
Hammering that
do,
door.
do it now. If not, I think that's a good time to just kind of end the session there. On like a kind of note of what we're going to do next with the therapy session and introducing Todd's new character, and then we'll be back next week. Of course, that was a really entertaining